same time, I'm always here to be there for you guys. So if you have any questions for me, I'm always just a phone call, or not phone call away, Instagram form away, or you can email me, or I can also host office hours so that way you guys can come to me and ask me questions. Thank you.
Next question. Leadership sometimes means making an unpopular decision. Can you give me an example of a time you had to stand firm under pressure and how that experience proves you can handle this role?
Thank you for this question. So last year, during my senior year of high school, I served as the Black Student Union president, and there was one occurrence where we were supposed to have an HBCU tour where we would tour Clark Atlanta and also go to Spelman, Morehouse, just the full AU Center. Unfortunately, we were unable to do this because of a lack of sponsors being able to take us. We didn't have the bus or the funds to really take us there, and we got a little bit of pushback because it was highly anticipated. However, I was able to come up with a different initiative that still allowed us to have a fun, creative way within our own school. And even if I'm not able to accomplish every single thing that I strive for, I will still create a plan B, plan C, even a plan D, so that we can accomplish every resource opportunity that Cnahs majors desire. Thank you.
Thank you for your question. So, all 4 years of high school, I also served as one of the leaders in my Black Student Union. It was called Ebony Excellence Society. My senior year, I was the president of Ebony Excellence Society. My senior year, our previous sponsor, decided to drop out, and this was at the beginning of the school year. So our club was almost at fault of not being a club at all. So not only just me, but me and my other teammates, we had to figure out how to solve that problem very quickly since the school year had already started. What we did was we reached out to everybody that we knew. I went to PWI. There aren't as many Black teachers at the school or Black coaches at the school that could help. So we had to really reach deep. And so in order to do that, I used my support, which is one of the pillars in SAS Girls. And then I also used action. Without action comes nothing. So that's what I did in order to fix that problem that we had. Thank you for your question.
I also want to make a point that when one person answers the question and she asks another question, the same person has to stand back up. So when she finished answering the question before you stood up, don't do that for the next time, okay? Does that make sense? She's supposed to stand up and answer the question, and then it goes back to you. So when you answer, then you stand up again when the next question is answered.
So I'll start the next question.
Oh, so we're alternating.
Yeah, you're alternating, but when the next question comes, the same person who just answered stands back up.
So one person answers 2 questions and then it'll switch them up.
I'll
Okay.
Okay, and then also, you're also more than welcome to rebuttal after they have their response, just to make sure you understand. So there's a point that you don't agree with that they've said, you can rebuttal at that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Third question. Freshman council often struggles to get student participation. What specifically will you do differently to engage with students? And why should we believe your approach will succeed?
Okay, thank you for your question. So one thing that I would do would definitely be community engagement. As you guys may know, Cnahs is one of the smallest schools here at Howard University. And so I would definitely engage by sending out, Instagram posts and then also mass emails, kind of connecting with our advisor as well over at Cnahs, and just getting that community engagement. So that's how I would kind of, get all the students involved in Cnahs. Thank you.
Thank you for this question. So in light of the digital era, every day we're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, occasionally we're on Twitter. So meeting students where they are is imperative. I propose making TikTok videos that are funny, relatable, but also advertise for the initiatives that we plan to bring is going to definitely bring engagement and community and participation. Additionally, going on Instagram and creating reels that people will not only see, but follow the account so that they know about any upcoming events, opportunities, and research is imperative. Thank you.
Question 4. Howard is built on legacy and impact. What specific projects or initiatives would you want the freshman council to be remembered for under your leadership?
Thank you for this question. So as a stepping stone into med school, I really want to make sure that my campaign pushes forward certifications. So this could include becoming a PCT, getting your first aid certification, and different things under that, so that you can have the stepping stones and the tools to strive towards med school, PA's assistant, whatever your heart desires and your passions are. I want to help you get there. So being a PCT or even just a first aid assistant, you can work in hospitals throughout the summer. That way you're earning money and gaining connections. At Howard, your network is your net worth, and I want to help you get there. Thank you.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yes. Howard is built on legacy and impact. What specific projects or initiatives would you want the freshman council to be remembered under your leadership?
Okay, so thank you for your question. So I would want our council to be just remembered as being us. As we know, we all come to Howard University, and a lot of people suffer with imposter syndrome and trying to be like the other person next to them. So our council, I want us to be remembered as being fun, not just being business leaders or leaders of Howard University, but also being students, because at the end of the day, we are students before we are leaders. Thank you.
Last question. Howard has a strong tradition of leadership. If you fail to follow through on a major responsibility for the council, how would you rebuild trust with your class?
Thank you for your question. So how would I rebuild trust with my class? Not only would I lean on myself, but I would also lean on my vice president and then also my other team members that are a part of my leaders. Because yes, I am president, but then I also have a vice president, I have a secretary, I have a treasurer, I have all those people. And then also to answer the other question, how would I rebuild trust? I would definitely put myself out there because there's always failure. There's always going to be failure whenever you're trying to reach success. And so in order to do that, I would just show my vulnerability to all of the students and show that I am so strong enough to rebuild myself. Thank you.
Thank you for this question. The first thing that I would do is definitely take accountability. I build on the platform of fall 7 times and get an 8. So no matter how many times I fall, stumble, or crumble, I'm able to persevere and use grit to push me forward to the next initiative. Also relying on the elections committee and also my other vice president, secretary, treasurer, so on and so forth, to push me forward and lead me towards greatness. I would rebuild trust by connecting with the student body and ask them what they want me to do forward to regain their trust. Because at the end of the day, I'm just the liaison for them. I'm the bridge between faculty, staff, and them. So I want to be as transparent as possible when I am unable to do what I say. Thank you.
This now concludes the moderated question portion of tonight's event. The audience will now have an opportunity to pose questions to the candidates. Audience members, your questions can be either general or pointed towards a specific candidate or platform. Again, candidates, you will have 1 minute to respond to each question and will be allowed a 30-second rebuttal. Does anyone have
Greetings, my name is Enron. I'm a sophomore finance major, future political science student. Here are student from Columbus, Ohio, East Africa. And my question to you guys is, being as it is just about your second month on Howard's campus, what made you feel the need to run for a position leading your rest of your freshman class?
Do I answer?
Okay. Thank you for your question. So in high school, I was definitely involved in numerous clubs and experiences, and I never wanted to lose sight of that stepping into college and stepping into a new space such as Howard. My parents paid a lot of money, and they're counting on me to continue to expand my leadership and my experiences, and I really want to make them proud. So this is definitely one way to do that and grow many experiences and connections. Like throughout this campaign season, even though it's already been a week, I've been able to meet so many different people, and not only just Cnahs, but SOP, SOC, you name it, I probably met them. And it's been really great to just meet those people. Thank you.
Thank you for your question. So I'm a legacy, not of Howard, none of my parents that came here. But I want to start that legacy, which is why I chose to become a candidate in this election. Yes, I've only been here for 2 months, but my dream has been to come to Howard since I was in 7th grade. I first visited Howard's campus back on a campus tour in 7th grade. And that's like whenever COVID and stuff was still going around, so there weren't really students on campus, but it still drew me towards it even without students being on campus, just the historical, blackness about it. But Yeah, I've always gone to a PWI my whole life. I lived in Cypress, Texas. That's back home. Everyone knows Cypress, Texas to be a very white area. And so the reason why I came here is because I really just wanted to be around people that look like me, sound like me, and also have the same struggles as me. That way I don't feel alone, because back whenever I was in Cypress, I did feel very alone in that situation. So now that I'm here, I do feel more comfortable, and which is why I wanted to run as a candidate in this election. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Did you ask the question to look at her?
Oh, no, it's to both of them.
So you can answer the question.
They both.
Oh, they did. Oh.
Hi, I'm Abigail Levita. I'm a first-year health science major from Community Tech in Dallas, Texas. And I wanted to ask both of y'all, if you don't get elected, how else would you still contribute to Cnahs?
Yeah, sorry. Thank you for your question. So if I do not get elected, I would still contribute just by showing up, showing my voice, and still fighting for Cnahs. At the end of the day, just because I don't get elected does not mean that I am no longer a Cnahs freshman student. And so I still want to be able to fight for our students. I'm still going to use my platform on Instagram, on TikTok, to kind of, fight for you guys. And then also just communicating with everybody, communicating with advisors, our dean, everybody. And then also, just because I wouldn't be elected does not mean that I can't still do things on the yard and just, help Cnahs get scholarships, get internships, things like that. So yeah, thank you for your question.
Thank you for your question. So even if I'm not elected, I still have gained valuable experiences. I've learned a lot about me and myself, and also about the different students within Cnahs and within other clubs and schools. So with this information, I definitely want to continue to expand my platform, even if this is out of the presidential role, whether that's creating my own club, working with existing clubs to continue to push forward different initiatives such as certifications, because they are valuable. I myself have my sports med certification, and I did try for my PCT but didn't pass, but that's okay. So definitely continuing to work hard so that other people can use this as a stepping stone towards medical school or whatever passions they desire. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Claudia. I'm a freshman health science major from the Bronx, New York City, and my question to both of you is, what is your biggest weakness and how do you think that will affect your position if you are elected?
Thank you for your question. So I definitely think that one of my biggest weaknesses is I can be a little bit introverted at first. I'm definitely more of an observer, and that can hinder me from talking to other individuals initially before I really get a full chance to really just look around and see what's going on. However, I am learning to be more extroverted when I come into new spaces and using that to my advantage, and not letting it discourage me, because I can be a little bit shy. Thank you.
Thank you for your question, Vice President. So one of my weaknesses would definitely be branching out, which is very ironic because I am trying to be the president of Cnahs Freshman Council. I struggled being here at Howard without my family. I've never been away from my family. So I'd say weakness would definitely be just not having that quality time with the people that I do care about. But that's why I'm here to build relationships with new people that I do care about. Thank you for your question.
This now concludes the audience question portion of tonight's event. Let's give our candidates a round of applause. On behalf of the commission, we would like to thank you for your attendance and participation in tonight's event. Please make sure that you are following the commission Instagram account for updates about the upcoming election schedule. We would now like to excuse the presidential candidates and call up the freshman vice presidential candidates. Welcome back to the Crossfire for Freshman Council. First, Cnahs Freshman Council. First, the candidates will be answering moderated questions that have already been prepared. Each candidate will have 1 minute to respond to each question. If you're running as a slate, One person will answer the post question on behalf of the slate. Candidates who would like to rebut any questions made by their opposing candidate during their response to answer a question will have 30 seconds to do so, and please raise your hand. At the end of the moderated question portion, the audience will be able to pose questions to the candidates about their platforms and intended plans for the desired position. Again, candidates, you will have 1 minute to respond and exchange 30-second rebuttals in the same fashion. Before we begin, please keep in mind that the commission does live stream these events for students who could not attend in person. Please refrain from audible disruption in respect to the candidates and viewers. In addition, please hold your applause until the close of each portion of tonight's event. Again, thank you for attending tonight's event, and we will now begin. Candidates, please take 30 seconds to introduce yourself and your platforms.
Hello everyone, my name is Swadu Berry. I'm a freshman health science major from the Bronx, New York City, and I'm running on the platform of SAS Girls. We stand for Service, Action, Support, and Scholarship to create community within Cnahs. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Faith Benedy. I'm a freshman health science major, pre-med from Cnahs, Louisiana, and I am running to help promote community service and action for Cnahs. I really want to help branch together the Cnahs class, especially within our upperclassmen, and help to bring our freshmen together on campus. Thank you.
First question. Some people see the vice president role as second place. How do you plan to make your decision more than just a backup for the president?
Can you repeat the question one more time?
And she answered. Some people see the vice president role as second place. How do you plan to make your position more than just backup for the president?
Thank you for your question. The vice president role is not only just second place. We all work as a team, as a collective, to create betterment within our role. And just having that communication, leadership, and everybody having a fair and equal say. We all have different positions, and one is not necessarily less or greater than the other. So just understanding everybody's specific roles and understanding that we need to listen to each other and communicate effectively to better Cnahs is very important in making all of our voices heard. Thank you.
Can you repeat the question for me?
Yes. Some people see the vice president role as second place. How do you plan to make your position more than just backup for the president?
Thank you for your question. I believe that she just said, everyone has their own role within their council and Cnahs. And I feel like the president is the head. They will say things, and I feel like the vice president will be able to go in and make sure they interject their opinions, while also listening to the rest of the council. Thank you.
Next question. What is one weakness in your platform that you would improve or challenge if elected vice president?
One weakness that I believe I have is I'm not really branching out, and that may give me the opportunity to hinder myself and not really speaking out to other people. But I feel like throughout my platform, by having my team and my board, I'll be able to talk with them and collaborate and really have the opportunity to speak with other Cnahs students about what we need to fix within Cnahs. Thank you.
How do you plan to communicate with other schools and colleges in order to ensure the full division of Cnahs if you are afraid of branching out?
I would say throughout this election process already within tabling, I have met many people from other schools and colleges, and really have the opportunity, and they have all stopped us about what my goals and plans are for Cnahs. So I would say this election process has already given me the opportunity to reach out and branch out and talk to other schools. It is something that has been a difficult thing for me, but I'm really happy I'm able to do that, and they've given me the opportunity to. Thank you for your question.
And to answer the question myself, I would say community is kind of the weakest point of our platform. Trying to have tabling events and reach out to our community, it's very hard when every other person that comes up to our table isn't a Cnahs freshman. Just having that small group of people, it's really hard to reach out to them and find our niche group. There's only 300 Cnahs freshmen, and so it's just been really hard to reach out to them. But as our platform goes up, and if I were to be elected, it'd be a lot easier to reach out specifically to them. It's a lot harder to get people to come to you than it is for you to go to other people. Thank you.
Next question. How will you handle if your vision for council conflicts with the president's vision?
Thank you for your question. And again, communication is key. There are ways to have professional and just business professional conversations about things and express your opinions while also listening to another, and having that ability to compromise and understand that maybe your idea isn't the best one or someone else's idea isn't the best one, and just having that ability to just just reach out and use your resources and include other people in conversations is very important in understanding that not every idea is going to go how you want to plan it.
Thank you for your question. I agree with a lot of things you said as well. I do feel like communication is key, and making sure that you communicate with your president, your secretary, and your treasurer on all your ideas is a great way to make sure you're communicating and make sure you have one message that you want to bring out to your Cnahs students.
Next question. What will you do to keep the council accountable to the promises it makes, especially when momentum starts to fade later in the year?
Sorry, can you repeat the question one more time?
What will you do to keep the council accountable to the promises you all make, especially when momentum starts to fade later in the year?
One way I would like to keep our council accountable is I would really like to listen to what feedback we're getting from other Cnahs individuals. I think that would be a great way to see how we are working on everything that we have going within our council.
Thank you for your question. And having clear outline goals for the rest of the year is incredibly crucial. Instead of just having these overarching and very general goals, as soon as elected into office, I aim to have very specific and niche things for every month just to ensure that we don't lose our momentum. And in terms of momentum, we just have to keep the passion strong. As long as you're passionate about something, the momentum will always follow through. So just understanding that and just physically being able to see the impact that you're making within Cnahs freshmen is going to incredibly help that momentum stay strong. Thank you.
This now concludes the moderated question portion of tonight's event. The audience will now have an opportunity to pose questions to the candidates. Audience members, your questions can either be general or pointed towards a specific candidate or platform. Again, candidates, you will have 1 minute to respond and will be allowed a 30-second rebuttal.
Yes. What is a personal trait that you guys will both use in order to help you guys throughout your role in the year?
Thank you for your question, Savannah. And I would say just my personality. I think I'm a very approachable person. People tell me that I always look very friendly, so they're not afraid to come and talk to me. And I think that's something that's really important as counsel. I feel like a lot of the times when I go out in public and I see maybe a committee member on something I'm interested in or somebody else I would like to talk to, they kind of look a little intimidating, so I'm a little scared to go and talk to them. So I just don't want to come off as that person, and oftentimes I don't. So just having people to be able to come and talk to you is just incredibly crucial. Thank you.
Thank you for your question. I would like to call myself as an advocate. I feel like if I have an issue and I have a problem, I don't have any issue walking up to anyone and addressing what that issue or problem may be. I've faced activism myself, so going out and being able to do that is really important. So thank you for your question.
Hi again. My question is, if you and the president strongly disagree on a big issue, whose side are you going to take, the president or the students?
Thank you for your question. If we are disagreeing on something that's really big and the question or issue is coming from the student body, I think that me and the president should, of course, collaborate together to figure out what is within the best interest of the students. Thank you.
Thank you for your question. And overall, we're here to serve the students. So just understanding exactly what the students need and then also what our council is representing is crucial. There are different circumstances to things, and sometimes we do have to play the devil's advocate and not do exactly what is needed of us. But just understanding that we are here for the students and we're here for their needs is incredibly crucial in making these important decisions. Thank you.
This now concludes the audience question portion of tonight's event. Let's give our candidates a round of applause. On behalf of the commission, we would like to thank you for your attendance and participation in tonight's event. Please make sure that you are following the commission Instagram account for updates about the upcoming election schedule. We would like to excuse the vice presidential candidates and now welcome the secretary. Welcome back to the Crossfire for Secretary Freshman Council. The First, the candidates will be answering moderated questions that have already been prepared. Each candidate will have 1 minute to respond to each question. If you are running as a slate, one person will answer the posed question on behalf of the slate. Candidates who would like to rebut any question made by their opposing candidate during their response to a question will have 30 seconds to do so. Please raise your hand. At the end of the moderated question portion, the audience will be able to pose questions to the candidate about their platforms and intended plans for their desired position. Again, candidate, you will have 1 minute to respond and exchange 30-second rebuttals in the same fashion. Before we begin, please keep in mind that the commission does live stream these events for students who could not attend in person. Please refrain from audible disruption in respect to the candidate and viewers. In addition, please hold your applause until the close of each portion of tonight's event. Again, thank you for attending tonight's event, and we will now begin. Candidate, please take 30 seconds to introduce yourself and your platform.
Hi everyone, my name is Abigail Samuels, but I also go by Abby. I'm a freshman health science major on a pre-med track from Miami, Florida, by way of Jamaica. Today I'm running for secretary with my slate, SAS Girls, which is an acronym for our name, but it also stands on the 4 pillars that we support, which is service, action, scholarship, and support for Cnahs. Thank you.
The secretary's role is often not seen. What's your strategy to make the position more impactful and essential to the council's success?
Thank you for your question. I do acknowledge that the secretary is usually one that works behind the scenes, but this is also something that I'm used to. Back in high school, I was secretary for multiple of the clubs that I was involved in, and I feel like a secretary's position is very important as they do a lot of the background staging stuff that is crucial to run a successful council and get the initiatives running. So I definitely believe that voicing the opinions that not only the secretary has, but other people that are in like Cnahs that may feel like their voices aren't heard is definitely important to making things work smoothly. Thank you.
Organization is key. What's one system or tool you will implement to keep the council accountable to deadlines?
Thank you for your question. So I love to use spreadsheets and Google Forms, and that's what I feel like I would definitely use to keep us accountable with meeting deadlines. So as they're smiling on the counter because they know that I actually do stick with deadlines. I'm very important. I love being on time, and I definitely feel like that is something that I will add to our mission and keep constant while if we do get elected. So, thank you.
What steps will you take to ensure transparency and that students know what's happening in the council?
Thank you for your question. So Instagram, we're in a generation of technology, so definitely Instagram and forms will be my best friend in ensuring that Cnahs Council knows, not only Cnahs Council, but the whole freshman body knows that what we're doing and when we will be doing it. We're a small school, so only 300 students, so not only will we be using Instagram like forms, we'll be posting, we'll do reels, TikToks, we'll be doing flyers around the school for events, and I feel like that's honestly the best way to keep everyone informed on what we do. Thank you.
Okay, last question. If the council starts slacking on responsibilities, how will you use your role to call attention to it and fix it?
Thank you for your question. If something like that were to happen, I feel like the best action is to definitely hold yourself accountable. We know our mission, and I feel like that's what we need to stand on. So if there ever comes a time where anyone in Cnahs feels like we're not doing our job, I would definitely want them to tell us. We're very approachable people, so if anything they see us on campus, they can definitely tell us their concerns. And if they see that we still aren't doing it, I would definitely say to like write up a form so that we will get back to our mission because we are definitely dedicated on what we want to do. We want to build a committee and support you. We are here for you guys. So I definitely feel like the most important thing will be like hearing from our constituents. Thank you.
This now concludes the moderated question portion of tonight's event. The audience will now have an opportunity to pose questions to the candidate. Audience members, your questions can either be general or pointed towards a specific candidate or platform. Again, candidate, you will have 1 minute to respond to each question, and you will be allowed a 30-second rebuttal.
Hello, Madam Secretary. So I have a question. What is a passion that really drives you to want to be Secretary for Cnahs?
So thank you for your question. I definitely would say a passion that drives me is my family. I wanted to run for this role because my mom, like she puts a lot of trust and she knows what I'm capable of. And sometimes I do forget that myself. So I definitely feel like being a part of a team that wants to make change is something that's so important to me. So that is definitely something on a whole. So that is definitely my driving force for running for secretary. Thank you.
What do you think is the most important role in a freshman council? What do you feel like is the backbone of a freshman council?
Thank you for that question. I would definitely say like the backbone on that question is more, I would say community and communication, because the only way that things can get done is by talking as a council. Like you can't do things by yourself, which is apparent. So that's why I decided to run with the council, because we are aligned on our goals. So I feel like that is the best way to get things done. It's a lot harder if you're running with someone that isn't in the same mindset. So definitely communication and just knowing who you're working with is the best way to get action, which is one of our pillars. Thank you.
This now concludes the audience question portion of tonight's event. Let's give our candidate a round of applause. On behalf of the commission, we would like to thank you for your attendance and participation in tonight's event. Please make sure that you are following the commission Instagram account for updates about the upcoming election schedule. We would now like to excuse the secretary candidate and now welcome the treasurer candidates. On behalf of the commission, we would like to thank you again for your attendance and participation in tonight's event. Please make sure that you are following the commission Instagram account for updates about the upcoming election schedule. Again, we thank you for being here, and this now concludes the event. Thank you.
Is that right?
One second. You're just a freshman representing, or you UGSA freshman? Well, UGSA is a student. So just see. Is it a CUSA or? Yes.
Yeah.
That's a. Is that like something new?
Where did you guys, like, where was the position after? H elections.
Actually, this one second, while we get prepared for your freshman representative, you can sit back down for a minute.
It's really not. No, it's. Chopstick, you're fine. Look at us on it. You just wasted 25.
Welcome back to the Crossfire for Freshman Representative. First, the candidate will be answering moderated questions that have already been prepared. Each candidate will have 1 minute to respond to each question. If you are running as a slate, one person will answer the posed question on behalf of the slate. Candidates who would like to rebut any points made by their opposing candidate during their response to a question will have 30 seconds to do so. At the end of the moderated question portion, the audience will be able to pose questions to the candidate about their platform and intended plans for their desired position. Again, candidate, you will have 1 minute to respond and exchange 30-second rebuttals in the same fashion. Before we begin, please keep in mind that the commission does live stream these events for students who could not attend in person. Please refrain from audible disruption and respect to the candidate and viewers. In addition, please hold your applause until the close of each portion of tonight's event. Again, thank you for attending tonight's event, and we will now begin. Candidate, please take 30 seconds to introduce yourself and your platform.
Hello everyone, my name is Sophia Marley. I am a freshman health science major from Lagos, Nigeria, and I'm running with the SAS Girls, and our platform stands for Service, Action, Support, and Scholarship.
First question. What are your specific plans as freshman representative?
Okay, my specific plans as a freshman rep is to uphold the values that we created at SAS. So we have service. I want to get back to my community. Though freshman rep is technically more like a marketable position, like a face of a freshman council, I still am very big on community service and giving back to your community. I believe in action, which is standing on the plans that we plan to lay out as a council of a whole. And also scholarship, not just about looking for money for scholarship, but also creating a friendly educational environment, because scholarship is not just about money, but also the brother and sisterhood that has to do with people that are learning alongside with you, and then support, because I believe that support is the most important thing. We can't really do much without a good support system, so support is the last thing. So I really just plan to uphold the values of ourselves.
Freshman year is full of challenges, from academics to social life. Which of these issues do you think the council can realistically influence, and how would you prioritize them?
Thank you for the question. And I think the one we can easily influence is social life, because being a health science major or just on a pre-med track, pre-pharmacy, or a pre-professional track in general can be very lonely, can be very taxing, and can be very mentally challenging. So being able to create a social community, not really just about partying or making friends, but just a community that's conducive and an environment that allows people to feel supported in some way or the other, is the easiest thing I can do and the best thing I can do as a freshman rep and on freshman council.
What specific steps will you take to make sure freshmen actually know who you are and trust you represent them?
Okay, so the specific steps I'll take, we live in a digital world. We all stay on our phones. People are currently on their phones right now, but that is the easiest way. I meant to stay on your phones, be it through Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Twitter, whatever you use. As a member of freshman council, I will stay on your phone. I'll keep you up to date through some way or the other. I'll keep you up to date via social media, and that's how you're going to know me. That's how you're going to be able to communicate to me, and that's how you're going to be able to pass across your points one way or the other to me. Thank you.
Fourth question. Representatives often promise to listen to students. Can you give a concrete plan for how you'll turn feedback into results?
Thank you for the question. And the easiest way to turn feedback into results is by first getting feedback. And how do I plan getting feedback? I have Google Forms, I have polls, I have posts. When I get that feedback, I'm going to turn into results. We start step by step, we break it down. Oh, is your problem that you don't really know what's happening around the place? We post up flyers, we make our Instagram posts, we create we create spaces that we are in your face, so like you know what we are doing at any point in time. Is your problem that you don't really know people in your community? We create programs for you. Do you need a mentor? We have you covered on that. Do you need a buddy that should help you study? What's your schedule like? We can help you with that. So we're going to get forms. We're going to have feedback, and then from there we break it down to smaller plans and create results. And also not just by myself, I also deal with the rest of the freshman council and by working hand in hand with them.
Thank you. Last question. How will you actively seek out the opinions of students who don't come to meetings, don't speak up, or don't know you personally?
Well, okay, so it's mostly, thank you for the question. And how I intend to find those students is I actually do know some that are living on the same floor as me. And I've noticed that the easiest way to come to find them is also like get their opinions is by actually coming to them. And you don't really need to come to someone like face to face, even though I do be knocking on their door sometimes. You can also go to them, you can go to them on their phone, because the reason why people even know that I'm running for this post is because they're seeing SARS girls everywhere. Because I stay in your phones, I stay in your lives somewhere or the other. So even if I can't come to you in person, I am a phone call away, I am a text message away. I am literally always accessible somewhere or the other. And even if you don't know me, you will get to know me in due time. Thank you.
This now concludes the moderated question portion of tonight's event. The audience will now have an opportunity to pose questions to the candidates. Audience members, your questions can be either general or pointed towards the specific candidate or platform. Again, candidate, you will have 1 minute to respond to each question and will be allowed a 30-second rebuttal.
Hi everybody, my name is Fortune Fields. I am a freshman film and TV major from Cleveland, Ohio. Sorry, y'all. My question to you is, why exactly did you choose freshman rep instead of treasurer? Because I know that normally when you run on a slate, it's president, vice president, secretary, treasurer. So then, like when I heard freshman rep, I was like, oh, that's different. So what exactly made you want to do freshman rep instead of treasurer?
Okay, so thank you for that question. And I think I chose freshman rep over treasurer because first things first, I believe the treasurer's role is more of money doing, and I don't really, even though I am on the financials right now for my slates, I'm not really like big on money roles. I'm more of, I want to interact with people. I'm really social in my life. Like most of the people I know is because I'm going up to people, I'm like, oh my God, hi, who are you? What do you want to, like, I want to get to know people. So I think I chose freshman rep over being the treasurer because I prefer being more in a social role rather than behind the scenes, working with numbers and all of that. And yeah, that's why I chose it. Thank you.
This now concludes the audience question portion of tonight's event. Let's give our candidate a round of applause. On behalf of the commission, we would like to thank you for your attendance and participation in tonight's event. Please make sure that you are following the commission Instagram account for updates about the upcoming election schedule. Again, we thank you for being here tonight, and this now concludes the event. Thank you.
Yes. So I'm good.